Welcome to Wealth Up, a channel about personal finance and building wealth. A key component in building wealth and having control over your money rather than money controlling you is to have a plan for what your money will do for you. Some people call this budgeting, but I know this word can cause a negative reaction. Instead, I make a year-long financial plan. In this process, I write out how much money I have coming in and where I choose to spend the money. This way, I am controlling where the money is going. I make this plan for the full year, but it is not set in stone. Rather, this is a flexible plan. Life will happen throughout the year and priorities might change. As life happens and the year progresses, it is important to revisit the plan and make adjustments. In this video, I will walk you through the process of making my 2022 financial plan. Okay, so let's jump into the spreadsheet. As you can see, I have some information already pre-filled. Let's go through it real quick. I start off by listing all of my incomes, so every paycheck that I will receive, I expect to get a bonus this year as well, which I've outlined here. And then I simply add all of the amounts into the totals row. Everything below here is money that I am spending. The first thing that I outline are sinking funds. The first one is for property taxes, insurance, as well as car insurance. I am setting aside some money this year into my emergency fund, as well as for future car expenses. I expect to be putting new tires on my car in the next year. And I also have a travel sinking fund. Next is my monthly investing. This is what I will invest every month. In the next row is an expense that I have where I am helping my family out. The next two sections are for my living expenses. I break them out into household. This is everything that I have to pay in order to maintain my house. The first one being my mortgage payment, followed by the utilities. So electricity, gas, water, internet, and student loans. And the last section are the living expenses. These are the expenses that I can trim if needed on a month-to-month basis. And they are groceries, fund money, a fund set aside for home. So any maintenance, pest, any decorations that I want to buy come out of this fund. Then on the last row, I look at the remainder, which is how much money is left after taking care of all of the expenses. Then at the top of the spreadsheet, I have all of my months, starting in January, going through the end of the year. So for my paycheck for January, like I said, I get paid bi-weekly. I expect the total income coming in after all taxes are paid, my investments into my 401k go in to be $6,250. Now let me take the sum of all of these numbers. So for January, I expect to only have $6,250 coming in. I will not be getting an extra paycheck, nor will I be getting a bonus this month. So the total equals $6,250. Next, I'll go into my sinking funds. So for my property taxes as well as insurance, I have this pre-calculated to be $650 per month, and this is taken out of my account automatically, so I don't have to go in and do anything. For January, I expect to put $500 into my emergency fund. I won't be saving anything for future car expenses, but I will be setting aside $700 for my travel sinking fund. Next, in the investing row, I expect to invest $2,000 this month, which is my target investment total. For family support, comes out to $528, so I'll list that there. Mortgage payment is $867. For electricity, let's put down $40, gas $28, water $58, internet $56, and for student loans, at least in January, it will be $0. Here, the mortgage payment is constant. It's $867 every month, so I can go ahead and drag that over for the remainder of the year. The other expenses do vary month to month, but this is typically what I expect to see. So I can go ahead and drag these over. The only one that is subject to change is the electricity payment. This is all an estimate based on what I've had to pay in the last year. Gas payment stays relatively consistent because it doesn't get very cold here. This doesn't change over time. The water bill doesn't change a lot either. Internet is constant, and the one that will change is student loans. The student loan forgiveness is set to expire starting in May. So starting the month of May, I expect to be making a $200 payment every month. So I'll drag that over. The family support, as I said earlier, also will not change, so I can drag that over. My investment, I try to keep it at $2,000 a month, so we'll drag that over. This I will adjust once I add all of the income information for the next months. But for now, let's just drag that over. For groceries, fund money, as well as home, I keep this fairly consistent. Groceries, I set aside $300, fund money $250, and home $150. Again, these stay consistent, so I will just drag them over for the remainder of the year. The property taxes will stay consistent as well, so I will bring that over to the remainder of the year, $650. Travel, I do expect to change over time. I'll bring that down to $500 per month for the first few months of the year. As I begin booking travel and planning for the year, this money will help me cover those expenses. But as the year progresses, I'll be saving a little bit less. So let's just put that down for $200 for the remainder of the year. Okay, before I put in the money for the emergency fund and future car expenses, let's come in and fill out the remainder of the income for the year. So I expect to get this paycheck every month for 2022, with 2 checks coming in the month of July and the month of December. So for July, I expect to get another paycheck. So let's just say half of what I normally get, $3,125. Like I said, in December, it'll be the same thing. There's the extra paycheck. Let's drag this over so we can see how much money is coming in every month. I expect to get my bonus in the month of April, and what I am expecting for this year is $16,000. So we'll put that there. Because I don't know what this will be, this is subject to change, so as I get more information, I can update the plan. I also expect to get a raise in the month of May. So let's take my previous monthly income and apply the 5% raise to it. Do this by doing a little bit of simple math here. Okay, so that will bump up my take-home income to $6,500. I'll drag that across. As you can see, for the remainder of the year, I expect my income to go up just slightly. So now we can see how much income I have coming in every month for 2022. I've filled out the majority of my expenses already. The only sections that are still to be filled out are my emergency fund and my future car expenses. To make this process a little bit simpler, I'm going to subtract my income from all of my expenses, and I'll do that in the remainder row. So I will take my income and then subtract all of my expenses. So I took my income, I'm adding all of the expenses and subtracting it. I'll drag this across so I can see how much money is left over to be accounted for. So let's fill out my emergency fund savings. Since I am focusing on the emergency fund at the beginning of the year, we'll focus on this row for now. So emergency fund, you can see I have $823 left. So let's put $800 for my sinking fund in February. For March, I also have that same amount, so let's do $800. For April, this is a high income month. Because I am getting the bonus, I will take the opportunity to beef up the emergency sinking fund with $10,000. I will also take the opportunity here and set aside the funds for the future car expenses. So I set aside $10,000 for the emergency fund, $3,000 for the future car expenses, and that still leaves me with $3,800 left to account for. For April, I will take that additional money and increase my investments. So I will take that additional money and put it down towards the investments. So now that leaves me with all of the money accounted for. So I took my bonus, put it into my emergency fund, set it aside for future car expenses, and then took the remainder and invested it. In May, that's when I get the pay bump. I plan on setting aside $800 into the emergency fund, and this will be the last month I put into this fund. For future car expenses, that is also complete. So everything that is now left in my remainder row will go towards investments. So I will go month by month. I can see that I have an extra $95 to put into my investments. So I will take this extra money and put it into the investment row. For June, this will be a little bit more. So we'll do $3,100. In July, because I am receiving an extra paycheck, I have an extra paycheck to invest. So I will take this $4,400 and add it to the $2,000 that I typically invest, and that brings up my total investment to $6,400. I will do that for the remainder of the months, and I'll just speed through this so that you don't have to sit here and watch me type in the different numbers. Again, in December, because I do get that extra paycheck, I have extra income to invest. So I will throw that into the monthly investment expense. As you can see, I now have my financial plan for 2022, and it didn't take me very long to complete. There is still some money left over in the remainder, but as the year moves on and I take into account all of my expenses, I will be able to allocate the remaining money towards investments. This is my plan for 2022. I recommend that you too do a financial plan for 2022. List out your income, what you expect to make for every month, as well as all of your expenses. Don't forget to include credit cards, any car payments, any monthly bills that you may have should be listed, and then set aside money for investing as well. In order to build wealth, a key component is to have a financial plan, and this is how I take control of my expenses and my money. Thank you for watching until the end. If you have found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see upcoming videos. If you want to see regular content, you could add me on Instagram at wealth_up. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.